in 4 days since we bought it. We bought it on about 4 days ago. So that's actually made a nice little move in the short term, probably a little extended right now, but longer term, that's a good looking name. Very powerful, very strong earnings. These stocks are acting.
What do they do?
Really
I don't
well.
even know them. What do they do?
Excuse me?
What does Upstart do?
Well, I'm sorry.
What kind of company is it?
Yeah, I'm not. You're breaking up.
Oh.
So if we look at Upstart, and this is I mean, it's easy to make fun, and the truth is, in that moment, he should have just said, "Hey, I'm not familiar with what the company does, but I thought it was a good trade. That's why I'm holding on to it." That would have totally sufficed. But whenever we try and act as if we don't know what's going on, that's when our credibility can take a hit. So for those of you who are, and shout out to Ash Cash for posting this, but let it be a lesson for all of us that if we ever get caught in a situation where we don't know the answer, it is okay to just say, I don't know. And if we're looking at the futures market, this is the S&P 500 future. So let's just draw a couple of levels here real quick. And this is just a basic channel. So this is the high up here. And you can see in October, we kept bleeding down. This is why it's really key to have your levels marked off. And I told you, September and October are historically two of the worst months. So you would expect November, December, January to be great. You can see when everyone was panicking, these are some good areas to buy. So even around that 43.10 area, if you could have got in at 42.99, that would have been a great place to swing trade or then hold SPY. So if we look at SPY, we can see the same kind of levels we were down. So like a 428 would have been a good entry to be able to get into the market. You can now see that we're at 446.93. So if you're looking at the S&P 500 futures, it will give you an indication of where the market is going to go, which will help you be able to get better entries for your long-term investment. And because of the ETF that is debuting tomorrow, unless they shoot it down at the last minute, Bitcoin top 60,000 as investors bet on the ETF. And because people want a safe way to be able to get into this market, we finally may have one way. Now, there's some flaws in it, but let's see if they shoot it down first at the last minute, and then we can talk about it more in detail next week. And I want to say this again, the futures market is what everyone thinks crypto is. The thing that keeps people away from the futures market, which is another reason why I love it, is because it takes some time to master it. But this ETF is going to be tied to the Bitcoin futures price, not the actual underlying asset as it should be, but it's a good way into the door. The thing I will tell you, if you guys go look at the future, if you're on TD Ameritrade, you can go look at /BTC. You will be able to see how it moves, how the market will be affected, and it will give you a great insight for how fast or slow the ETF will move. A lot of you are asking, hey, what do you think? Should I add it to my portfolio? I'm going to say, as I do with any other initial coin that comes out, any IPO, wait 60 days before you jump in, because you want to jump in at the best price. You don't want to jump in just because. Now, if you're going to hold it for 10 years, no matter what, the day that you get in does not matter. But if you are not disciplined, and here's the way to know if you're disciplined. Have you only stuck to 2 Tech 2 Index, or if you're in Stock Club, have you only stuck to the ones that were given to you? If yes, you can buy it and hold it for 10 years. If not, wait for a better entry. So it says here, a 75-day review process by the SEC, and if there are no objections, everything should be fine and it should be clear for trading. Let's look to see what happens next week. I thought this was pretty fascinating. So remember a few months ago, I told you that Square and a couple other companies had begun to invest in Bitcoin to put it as a revenue driver in their company and on their top line. And some people thought it wouldn't work. I thought it was brilliant. If you are familiar with Jack and his track record, you should have known that this was going to pan out well. And for the company, they have doubled their money since investing in Bitcoin. And this is why I tell all entrepreneurs and business owners, listen up. Do a comparison of how much return your employees or staff are giving you versus if you invested in some of these companies. Now, I'm not talking about the Fortune 100, but I'm talking about those of you that may have what some will call small business. I like to call an emerging empire. And a lot of times people are like, well, I don't have the money to invest in Apple, Microsoft, AMD, Tesla, NVIDIA, VOO. This is a scholarship. VTI, QQQ, right? And I'll say, well, you have money to pay an employee or consultant and they're not guaranteeing a return for you. I think every company on earth should be investing to their revenue as a driver, if not, especially now with the labor force being at one of its lowest points in the last 100 years, your business could be in imminent danger and you may not even know it. So kudos to Jack for that. Jack also says Square may add Bitcoin mining. Now, there's two sides of this coin. If the investment has worked, it is pretty smart to add mining. My only thought is if there's a chip shortage and it takes a certain amount of processing power to mine Bitcoin, and let's say all these companies become in a race to get the last of the assets or coins available in Bitcoin, right? If it was as profitable as everyone thought it would be, then why has not AMD, NVIDIA, or even Micron done the same by now? So whenever you want to understand if something is a good strategic move for your business, you have to go look at the top companies. Don't look on Instagram and don't even look to me for advice. Follow the top 5, 10, 15 businesses worldwide to see what they're doing. But I think Jack may be innovating here. But I wonder if it's going to be as profitable as he suspects. Why wouldn't AMD, NVIDIA, and TSM do the same thing? So remember when I called Bitcoin at 39,847.70? If you would have invested since then, and we gave it out on the show for free, and I put it out on my Instagram and Twitter, you would be up 6,500%. So from the low of 2020, Bitcoin now being at 61,000 has went up 1,100% plus. So a lot of times the gap that needs to be closed from being rich to wealthy or getting by to getting rich, a lot of times it's just execution. So I do my damnedest to give my all to us every single week. If I've made you money, put yes in chat. I'm going to be real. We're going into the new year, and I want you guys to start planning as if today is December 31st and start making your goals. If you have not invested in Apple, Microsoft, VOO, VTI, VGT, Bitcoin when I call 39, Bitcoin when I call 28, Cardano and Kayla call 191, please tell me why.
My graduates from my school being Forbes, bag drop.
Bag drop.
A mic drop, bag drop.
Bag drop.